fellow pen lovers and stationery enthusiasts. It's Christy here, Snarky Wordsworth over on Instagram and Reddit. And today I have take 2 of my A5 Sojourner Trifolio unboxing for everybody out there. So why take 2? Well, when I originally tried to film this, I discovered the package at the time contained the incorrect order, which was definitely a bummer, but I reached out to Rowena. She got back to me really quickly, and within a couple of days, the replacement notebook cover was in the mail. It arrived super fast, and now I have the right item, and I'm so crazily excited. So I've been wanting this for ages, since long before I actually had a purpose for this particular cover. And then early this year, I discovered my planned notebook cover and journal situation needed to be rejiggered because one of my notebooks was just too big for the case I had intended to keep it in. So finally, I had a real purpose for this, and now I'm so excited to have it. So yeah, let's go ahead and get this open so we can see what it looks like and then get the appropriate notebook all set up in it. So let's go. Okay, first things first, when I opened the lid of that box, the intense waft of delightful leather smell was just crazy, like slap you in the face crazy. But yeah, even now I can kind of like smell the leather, even though it's sort of dispersed into my room now. But yeah, here goes. Here she is. Oh my God, she feels so amazing. Okay, so this is the Sojourner A5 Trifolio. The Trifolio is the one that's just a standard folio with the flap on it and no strings. So the previous item, they'd accidentally put the holes for strings in it, and I don't do any A5 sized like inserts like that, so it didn't really make any sense. So when I reached out to her, she was super fast about like apologizing and making sure the right one comes in. So if you do ever for whatever reason have any issues, they will make it right. But yeah, so this, oh my God, okay, I wish you could feel this through the screen. So anyway, this particular combo of materials is a sand nubuck leather, and it feels amazing. I love lightly textured leather. I'm not a big pebbling fan, so like you'll almost never see me with like pebbled leather items, but I do really love like light suedes and nubucks. That slightly fuzzy feeling that you get on, say, a camel traveler's notebook, or just like any suede items. I love that feel. But yeah, so this is a combination of the sand nubuck and the natural leather, and it is so nice. Okay. So it looks like the leather's really pretty thick. It does feel very sturdy, but not so thick that I think it'll be bulky, which is nice. But I do think it'll definitely protect everything. Let's get this open. And the flap stays down. This, let me tell you, finding something where this is the case is such an unholy nightmare. And I'm so happy. This already makes me so pleased. But yeah, so it has this little scoop pocket, and you can customize how you get her different journal covers. I just picked the natural scoop cover. You can also get it in a designer mode, which has like a just sort of a more organic edging to it rather than this like very specific, very clean cut. But I like this look. For me, it's just a preference. And then on the inside, you've got two natural pockets to hold your journal. And then it's got like card slots if you want to use them. For this particular notebook, I don't really even need the extra spaces like this, but if you were using it with a journal that would find that helpful, that's another really nice bonus. But yeah, so you've got the pockets on the side. But yeah, it is so nice. Even the inside just feels really good. The natural leather is really, really thin, not in a flimsy way, but in a way that won't bulk out your notebook when you're carrying it, which I do really like. I like sturdy base leathers, but then the sort of accessory leathers I like to have thin. So this is definitely very, very well built for me. But yeah, so I am so excited. The journal I'm going to be putting in this is my fountain pen and ink journal. Now that had been living in a journal cover that had a pen loop on it for a couple of years now, and I really hated dealing with the pen loop. So I purchased a really amazing sort of Trifolio from Hand Stitch Leather Tea, and it is absolutely perfect. But another journal needed to use that particular cover because my work planner was just too bulky for the cover I had been using for years. I decided to use a new system. And so I needed a cover that would be able to contain everything. So I had to use the Hand Stitch Leather Tea one on that system instead. So I've been sort of trying to figure out what to do with my fountain pen and ink journal. And this is what I came up with. And like I said, been wanting this one for so long. And I'm just so pleased that I finally have a real reason to pick it up. So yeah, let's go ahead and get that journal installed in here and we will be ready to roll. Okay, and back. So this is the cover that is currently holding my fountain pen and ink journal. It originally was my work planner cover. I loved using this with my work planner, but in 2025, I decided to use a different system. And unfortunately, that new system doesn't comfortably fit in this. This is a Moterm A5, and I'd never had any problems fitting stuff in it because it is pretty generous, but for whatever reason, the way that I have the system laid out, it just is not conducive to using this. So I swapped my fountain pen and ink journal cover, which I purchased specifically for 2025, with this, and that new folding cover fits beautifully with the work planner, but this is not doing me any favors. Like, let's see. So this is a really, really great cover, and I loved using my work planner in it. I think I'm probably going to go back to the old system I used just so I can go back to this in 2026. But it's got this flap, which you have to weigh down, especially when you're trying to do like ink swatches and things like that. It's kind of a hassle, and I kind of hate that. Whereas if you're just quickly jotting things in for work, it's not really a big deal. And then I originally got out of my very first cover that my fountain pen and ink journal was in because I hated having a pen loop. I really do. Like, for whatever reason, especially when I'm trying to film stuff, it just gets in the way. So what do I end up with? Not even just the pen loop, but this annoying flap. It's just not a great system for this. Not to mention all of these pockets of things that I loved. It's got a bajillion places to put stuff. Phenomenal for my work planner. Like, I always have different cards from different people I'm meeting, like little bits and pieces of scrap paper that I've jotted something down when I didn't have my notebook with me. Great for things like that. But my fountain pen and ink journal is pretty much like a one and done kind of situation. I don't need anything with excessive pockets that sort of like make everything a little bit more cumbersome. It's not a great holder for this. So let's move my beloved Kansonoto. This is the old school Tomoe River paper, and I have one more of these, thank goodness. And let's get this book into the new journal cover and see how that goes. I think this is going to be such a better fit for it. Yep, this is definitely a winner. Really streamlined for the most part. I love that the cover with the flap really protects even the edges. So if I have tip-ins that I am not particularly careful about, they're not getting super damaged. I have to remember to pull on this side so it's the main body of the book that slides when I'm opening it wide, but you can see as soon as I have it correctly oriented, it stays nice and flat. The flap is not like going in the wind and slapping my other hand, and it's just staying where I want it to, which is exactly what I need for this book. Really, again, very simple. If I do have other bits and pieces of ephemera that I might need, I can use the slots for the cards, but I don't really foresee that because I've never had that situation in the past. This is so great. I am so excited. Yeah, if I really need to, I can slip like a pen in the front cover, but I don't usually need to do that. Even if I'm toting this around at conventions and things, I usually will have a bag with me so I can just put my pen in there. Yeah, this is exactly what I wanted. Oh my goodness. I am so excited, guys. This is, so I've spent the last like 2.5 months kind of bemoaning, and I, hashtag first world problems, right? But I really was so annoyed because the cover I had originally gotten for this, I had to repurpose for another journal, and it just really bummed me out every time I was writing in this. So to have a cover that I've been wanting for so long and to be able to really make use of it, that is just icing on the cake to having a beautiful new journal cover. So yeah, this is absolutely perfect. And you can see, look at that. There's plenty of room to grow, but it's not like excessive. Because that's the thing, isn't it? With journal covers, especially for me in A5, if it's too roomy, I feel like my journal isn't protected, and I just feel like it's all and sort of like ill-fitting jeans, I guess. Whereas this is like just the right size, a little bit of give, but nothing too crazy. If it chunks out a whole lot more, and let's be real, it's like half a notebook still, so it's going to get plenty more chunk, and it will certainly be able to house that, but without it being like too floppy either. So, this is great. This is really great. Thank you, Rowena, for having this design. I just love the way it looks. It really looks so classy. I can't tell you how much I love this sand with the natural. It's so beautiful and absolutely exactly my colorway. Anyway, if you happen to have any questions about this particular notebook cover, the leathers that are used, the makeup of it, if you're interested in hearing about the process any further, about the return, how that goes, please feel free to pop questions in the comments, or, just chat, whatever. I love interacting with everybody in the community. But yeah, if this video was in any way interesting, educational, useful, whatever, please do consider giving me a thumbs up or potentially even subscribing to the channel. As always, thank you so, so much for joining me. This was a delight to unbox. I'm so happy. I can't even. But yeah, again, thanks so much for joining me, and hopefully I will see you next time. Bye-bye.